And the phone rang, and I answered it, and there was a voice at the other end saying, "Oh, hello, yes, Mr. Tirikiotis, you won't know me, but my name's Alec Morgan, and I'm a filmmaker." There was a pause, and Alec then said to me, "Do you know that your grandfather Bill was the first Aboriginal filmmaker?" I said, "No. I mean, I know that he made films, but they're all gone. They were lost in a caravan fire. There's nothing left." And he said, "No, I've found a film in the National Film and Sound Archive in Canberra that I believe was made by your grandfather."
And what is Ablaze about?
Ablaze is about the story of my grandfather, Bill Onus, and many of his contemporaries as well. It's a story of Aboriginal activists and artists utilising film as a medium for expression and an assertion, I should say, of their sovereignty. It's also a bit of a detective story. It's a journey that I and my co-director and co-writer Alec Morgan go on over the course. Ultimately, it ended up being of nearly 7 years to find remnants of my grandfather's story in the archives, old films of his that he's made, stories that he told, and hopefully now, even after all this time, nearly 70 years after these films were made, to finally bring them to the world and start having some grown up and interesting conversations. Hopefully we've now grown up to the point that we can have the conversations that he was trying to have back in the 40s.
And what I've always felt, that the Aborigine was always the last person to be consulted as to what he wanted.
In the documentary, you mention how you came across a suitcase of your grandfather's. What was that feeling like making that discovery?
It was quite extraordinary, finding the suitcase again and reconnecting with it. You see, I'd always known that the suitcase existed. It was something I'd been familiar with. I'd seen at various points throughout my life. When we found it during the course of making Ablaze, what I then had was a tremendous amount of context for the contents contained therein. That the photographs and the stories, the correspondence and things that we found no longer existed just as objects and things. There were stories that connected to them.
One clue is in his letter to Arthur Calwell. Bill wrote that he would also include in his proposed film the soldiers who returned to civil life. Is this that film?
This story has been with you for a long time. When did you know that you wanted to make it into a feature documentary?
I knew I wanted to make it into a feature documentary the moment that I saw the film from the archive that Alec Morgan found in the National Film and Sound Archive. And I saw these images of my family in and around Little George Street in Fitzroy, in, as we now know, 1946, and we were able to date it from a movie poster that was on a tram in the background. And it required a measure of interpretation from the viewer. The sound for this recording had been lost, but there was still so much there. And I knew that there were still people around who were connected with that. And I wanted to know more of that story.
Ring the bell, queue up for your rations. If you are caught speaking your language or practicing anything culture, rations were taken off you. Anything of value that you loved to have was taken off you. The worst things that I can feel is to take away your language and the practice of your culture.
What do you hope audiences take away from watching Ablaze?
I hope that people are going to take a tremendous sense of, any sense really, but I hope it's tremendous, a sense of relevance and ownership from this experience, that people will see this as a story that's theirs as well. So hopefully people will be a little bit inspired by that and perhaps driven to go out and look and tell some more of the stories of their own and to stop and think about that which has been denied to us all collectively, the stories we've missed out on, the histories has been taken away from us, and feel the need to tell someone.